Good evening. Welcome to the Vineland Board of Education, Tuesday, June 1st, 2021, combined meeting with a 5 o'clock start. Roll call, please. Ms. Leary.
Ms. Acosta. Mrs. Cataspati.
Present.
Mr. Fiocchi.
Here.
Mr. Holmes.
Here.
Mr. Rivera.
Here.
Mr. Sabrana.
Present.
Mr. Silva.
Here.
Ms. Spinelli.
Here.
Mr. English.
Here. In compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law, commonly referred to as the Sunshine Law, the Vineland Board of Education has caused notice and posting of this meeting to be sent to the following, announcing time and place thereof, agenda, etc. The Daily Journal, SNJ Today, the Press of Atlantic City, Nuestra Comunidad, Visto Bueno, the Clerk for the City of Vineland, and the Administrative Office Public Bulletin Board. At this time, I ask that everyone please stand for the flag salute. Ms. Leary, do we have a resolution for executive session this evening?
Yes. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the City of Vineland School District will convene into executive session for the following reasons as outlined in NJSA 10:4-12. Discussion is about pending litigation matters, employment matters, and any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duty as a lawyer.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta. Ms. Cataspati.
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi.
Yes.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana.
Yes.
Mr. Silva.
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli.
Yes.
Mr. English.
Yes. Thank you. We have special presentations, but Ms. Kell, your students are running a little late this evening? All righty, at this time then, Mr. DeSanto, okay if we do these? At this time, we are going to retire and go into executive session. We will be back momentarily. Thank you. There we go. There's the invitation.
They wouldn't show me anything.
That's it. Welcome back. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to suspend the remainder of tonight's agenda and adjourn this meeting to Thursday, June 10th, 2021 at 5 p.m. So this is not your last meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Family's here. I didn't even see him.
I've been given the thumbs up.
Yes, the thumbs up.
It is an honor tonight for members of the Vineland High School Select Choir and Concert Choir and our alumni to join us in singing The Lord Bless You and Keep You, honoring Dr. Gruccio.
Thank you so very much. Twice in one day, it's over the top, but thank you. I really appreciate it. I love that song, and if you're around when I die, please have them sing it. I really love it.
Everyone's here. Okay. Thank you for a wonderful select choir performance. Dr. Gruccio. Whew. 46 years. At this time, we will start our presentations and acknowledgments. We will start with Mr. Lou Russo, the VEA President.
Thank you, Mr. English, and welcome everyone this evening. And most importantly, congratulations, Mary. What a career you have made. If I did my math correctly, you started your career in the 1974-75 school year. Let's take a moment. I'm a history teacher, so bear with me. In 1974-75, I can see from the crowd, some of you remember. Those of you who don't, Google it. It's on YouTube. But just for a moment, consider that in 1974-75, when Mary began her career, a new car still had a choke and a carburetor. In order to make a telephone call, you still needed to rattle around in your pocket for spare change, and it wasn't spare back then. To be social, it didn't involve any form of media, and the starting salary for a teacher in Vineland in 1974-75 was $8,550. We've come a long way. Things have certainly changed. But things have changed much more in education than they ever have in society in general. Education has changed more in the last several decades, than those little anecdotes. And your career, Dr. Gruccio, has spanned a massive transformation in the delivery of education. You have been forced and you have rose to the occasion to crest every wave on every change of every educational fad, every educational theme, every educational revolution. And you were able to do it at multiple levels, as a teacher, as a building administrator, a principal, an assistant superintendent, and as a superintendent yourself. You have touched thousands and thousands of lives. You've had to put up with untold numbers of conversations, some of them that are not always friendly. Sometimes they've involved conflict, they've involved mediation, they've involved many different emotions. But when I tried to think how best to summarize how I have been able to work with you and our members have, I keep coming back to the one theme, that you're someone who I believe has been a wonderful provider. You have viewed our school district, I think, as a part of your extended family, and you have treated everyone that I've been aware with as a part of the family. Anytime that we have come into your office as a typical Italian mother, there's always food available, nice pastries, locally baked. And of course, you were never one to accept no, and you kept trying to get people to give in until they did, and they certainly ate something. But what's important is that in your professional responsibilities in the school district, you have always carried out those duties with friendliness, with respect, with congeniality, professionalism, and with a genuine care that has always been evident, that your only goal has always been to try to make everyone at every level as happy as possible and to provide for everyone as best you can, no matter the situation. So for someone who has given education, for those of you who do know, this is easy. For those of you who do not know, working in education is like a sponge. There is never enough time, there's always more work to do, and it wrings almost all of the energy that we have out of us. And there's not always a lot to give sometimes in the rest of the day, in the other 24 hours. So for you, Dr. Gruccio, who have given so much of yourself to so many other people, on behalf of myself and the members of the Vineland Education Association, past and present, I want to not only congratulate you on your retirement, but I hope that you now have the time to give to yourself and your beautiful family and the multiple generations that you have sacrificed time away from. I hope now that you have the time for yourself and for them, and I sincerely thank you for everything that you've done for us in the school district over your career.
Thank you so much, Lou. That means a lot.
Roncini, we might need a roll of paper towels up here because these tissues are going pretty quick. Thank you, Mr. Russo. At this time, I would like to call up Mrs. Sandy Urban and Ms. Carol Belowski, UAW representation.
Mary, this is hard. We go way back, way back. We spoke not too long ago, and you said this is the hardest thing you ever had to do. You're not going to stay away from Vineland Board. You're going to be in with those donuts. You're going to be in for read to this class. Mary's going to always be there. But Mary's going to have a lot of time for those grandbabies without being stressed with all the headaches of the district. You're going to have Mary time and grandmom time. In fact, I have an aide. I have quite a few of them here. I was chatting with a few. They didn't look at you like a superintendent. You were somebody that cared. You looked at each and every one of them separate. And majority of my staff, they felt the same way. It wasn't that fear, oh, I can't contact the superintendent, Mary Guccio. I'll call him Mary. You know, you gave from your heart all these years. When you were principal, when you was at Oak and Main and Loiter, I didn't have any of my members that wanted to leave you. You know, you were there, you were family. You did that through this whole district. UAW can't thank you enough. There was many, many hard decisions you had to make. Not all we were happy with, but we knew it was a give and take, and you were fair. You looked at everybody. You looked at every situation. And we can never, ever thank you enough. It's time, Mary. Have Mary's time. Don't lose who Mary is. Okay? UAW loves you. Enjoy your retirement.
Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you, Sandy.
At this time, we will bring Mrs. Kristen Speakman, our VASA president, up to the podium, and she's accompanied by Ms. Carmi here.
Good evening, Dr. Gruccio and members of the board and community members. Tonight I'm speaking to you as president of the Vineland Administrators and Supervisors Association. On behalf of the 38 members of VASA, we are honored to recognize the achievements and accomplishments of Dr. Gruccio as we begin to say farewell to you as our superintendent. There's a Broadway show tune, and I'm not a member of Select Choir, so I'm not singing it, but there's a Broadway show tune that tells us there are 525,600 minutes in a year. Now, Dr. Gruccio, if my math is correct, you have spent close to 25 million minutes with 46 years as a teacher, principal, assistant superintendent, and superintendent, all within the Vineland Public Schools. So the Broadway song goes on to ask, how do you measure a life in a year? Dr. Gruccio, during your time as an educator in Vineland, your years have been measured by the positions you've held during your career, starting as a 4th and 5th grade teacher at Dane Barcy School, moving on to becoming a 5th and 6th grade teacher at Reber School, and then right here at Landis Intermediate School. 16 of your 46 years were spent as principal at Fells, Oak and Main, and Leuchter schools before rising to a central administration and becoming assistant superintendent and superintendent. Your life has also been measured by the many professional leadership roles you have held, including VASA president and chairperson of a long, long list of curriculum and school improvement committees. Your life can also be measured by the community organizations you're involved in, also which there are many of them, such as United Way and the Rotary Club. Your life can be measured by the many awards you've received, including the Red and Gray Gridiron Lifetime Achievement Award, a Cumberland County Hometown Hero Award, and induction into the Women's Hall of Fame. However, this is just a snippet of the many accomplishments and accolades you've received throughout your career. When we measure your life, as the song tells us, there's so much more than that. You have 46 years of building strong relationships with students, staff members, colleagues, and families in Vineland. 46 years of dedication to putting the needs of our children first. 46 years of service to the community. That's what measures your life. And as the song ends, we're told to remember the love. So most important, your love of your family as a mother and a grandmother are really what measures your life. So Mr. Rogers told us, often when you think you are at the end of something, you are at the beginning of something else. So Dr. Gruccio, we know that your dedication to our children here and the community will continue on as you find your new role in retirement. We wish you nothing but health and happiness with your beautiful family in your retirement. So on behalf of VASA, we have a fun gift for you that you can enjoy shopping.
We forgot the card.
We forgot the card, sorry. But thank you so much. And we can't thank you enough, Dr. Gruccio, for helping us and our students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will be calling up Mr. Paul Farinaccio, the NJPSA representative. Mr. Farinaccio.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Farinaccio, and I represent the Support Staff Administration and Business Office Group for NJSPA. And it's my privilege to speak and recognize Dr. Gruccio in celebration of her retirement this evening. You know, Dr. G, I've got 25 years of history with you, working intimately together. You were a principal at Max Leuchter School and also Oak and Main Kindergarten Center. And that's where our relationship began. And I got to see a lot of behind the scenes, the behind the curtains operations that people not necessarily were afforded. I know when I was a little boy growing up, my father said to me until I was out the door, you only get one name, make it count, be a person of integrity, speak the truth, be a hard worker, and people will remember that name. And so in thinking about what I wanted to talk to you about tonight, there's going to be many more opportunities where people are going to speak about your 46-year career, your unbelievable career this evening. I wanted to be a little bit more personal in my relationship with you and the things that I saw. And it can really be summed up in one overlapping theme. It really sums up to one thing. You are a person of generosity. It's evident. I believe it's the reason that you truly were successful. And generosity goes well beyond the financial aspect of it. Yes, you never walked in her office without Italian pastries or some type of a lunch or even dinners provided out of her purse. That's part of it. But the true definition of generosity is unselfishness. And those are the behind-the-scenes things that I was able to watch. All of the calls that came in after hours, the conversations, whether it be with parents, students, employees, it was all relative. And even though things could work through its normal channels, the gears and the wheels of Vineland Public Schools would afford people the logistics of having things handled. Dr. Gruccio, or Mary Gruccio, was always there, always behind the inner workings. She afforded and took the time, and that is truly generosity. I distinctively remember, it stuck with me all these years, you were a principal at Loiter, and I was meeting with you on a facility-related issue, and there was a 3rd or a 4th grade little boy. There was a problem, and it bypassed all of the stopgaps within the school. He ended up in the principal's office. And I got up to leave, and you said, Paul, just be seated. And you brought this kid in. He was visibly upset, crying. And you calmed him down, and you took the time to listen to him. He told you his side of the story. You spoke truth to him, and you explained the reason why he ended up in your office and the actions that caused that. And then you ended up keeping him in the meeting and let him participate. And towards the end of it, you stopped. You took time to tell the boy the reason that he was in school and that he needed the importance of school and his work was to be able to accomplish what we were doing. We were taking all time for business, facility related in there. And I was always impressed by that. That was true generosity. That was a teaching moment. And so that was very special to me. In closing, I know this chapter of your career is ending, but again, it's not going to stop your generous nature. In the book of our Lord in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, it says, "Let's not get tired of doing what is good, for at the right time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Continue on with your generous nature, Dr. Gruccio, and I am sure you will do well.
Thank you, Paul.
On behalf of NJSPA, I am presenting you with a little bit of authentic Vineland history. A Landis brick.
Thank you.
I can promise you that I left enough bricks that the building will stand. Look back on it and think fondly of your 46-year successful career and generosity.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Farinaccio. At this time, we will bring up Ms. Heidi Nieves, our school psychologist representative.
Hi, everybody. I'm not a speaker at all, but I did promise my coworkers that I wouldn't say anything like, "Thank you for your help, it was very helpful." I did write something, and so I just wanted to say, as from the school psychologist and from the child study team staff, we want to thank Dr. Gruccio for many years of caring for special needs children and their families. And we also appreciate her support of our profession and of our work. And we truly wish Dr. Gruccio a wonderful retirement and ask that she accept this gift of appreciation.
How you holding up? You're going to miss me. Oh, gosh. At this time, we will be and thank you, Heidi. At this time, we'll be bringing Dr. Joseph Rossi, Executive Director for Personnel, up to the podium. Dr. Rossi.
Now for a different perspective. Over the years, a typical day in Central might look like this. I'd make my way down the hall to see Mary. I would greet the effervescent Rossini, and she and I would exchange polite insults about the Eagles and the Giants. Then I'd play with whichever animal was in the office that day. I'd eventually make my way in and say something like, "Hi, Mary. One of our employees was caught last night running naked through an apartment complex." Exasperated, she'd reply, "What's wrong with these people?" Then she'd say, "Where do you want to go to lunch today?" Mary always recognized that the noonish meal was often a welcome respite from the endless adventures and stresses of the day. When Helen Haley and John Frangipani were here, we'd pile into John's SUV for midday jaunts to Olympia Greek, Black Olive, Green Olive, Martino's, Dominic's Pizza, and the seasonal burgers at Stewart's, which was the only place we'd ever get root beer. Aside from being a very nice person, it was great to discover that John's successor, Dr. Sneathen, also drove an SUV. I had contemplated inquiring about the candidate's vehicle of choice as an assistant superintendent interview question, but decided not to push Mary's patience with my sense of humor. We wouldn't take my car to lunch because the entire back seat often resembles an umpire or referee locker room. And you might ask why we didn't take Nathan's full-size truck to lunch, but then we would be picking dog hair off our butts the rest of the day. Mary also had an SUV, but this was a time when she was beginning to welcome her beautiful grandbabies. Keep in mind that our lunch caravan included 2 doctorates, 2 master's degrees, a CPA, and about 140 years of management experience, and none of us could figure out how to disconnect that damn childcare seat. Speaking of Mary's tolerance for humor, you'll recall that the onset of COVID resulted in product shortages. We all saw the media reports about empty store shelves. So I decided to slip a new title into a job opportunity bulletin which listed available part-time work. 2 days later, Mary called me and she asked why the county education office was asking about a job called toilet paper distribution officer. I shall always remember a distinct, unsolicited remark from a longtime district vendor when he said he could not recall a time when central administration got along so well. Mary liked to use the word team to describe us, and it was indeed appropriate. Our relationship, lighthearted approach, mutual respect, and productivity were testament to Mary's willingness to let us do our jobs, to consult with us on issues, and to always, always be down to earth about any situation. Nothing should come before family and health, she would say, no matter what the crisis was. Among Mary's many skills was her uncanny ability to invoke the name Blessed Mother into a sentence before seemingly shifting gears and dropping an F-bomb before the subject was concluded. Dr. Gruccio, I should never cease to admire your inner strength and all that you've become in your role. You are an accomplished matriarch of a family that has grown so wonderfully to include Will and Lauren Marie, Courtney, Paul, Paulie, Gino, and little Willie. Those of us who have grown close to you know that your beloved Michael is forever in your heart and soul, and he remains your guiding light over these 3+ decades since your loss. Your eternal love for him and your family is the only thing I've ever seen override your heartfelt concern for the children of Vineland Public Schools. Your team thanks you wholeheartedly for your endless generosity and kindness. Most importantly, we salute a nearly half-century career dedicated and intently devoted to the well-being of students and staff. Of all the awards and recognition that adorned your office walls, the one that perhaps is most appropriate is the portrait of the teacher reading to the children. So I close with the words of preeminent writer of children's books, the late Theodore Dr. Seuss Geisel. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it has happened.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rossi and Central Administration. I didn't know I was supposed to include the F-bomb there, so I'm glad I kind of let you do it. What a way to kick off the month of June. Before I get to the woman of the evening, on behalf of my colleagues, I would like to take a moment to thank someone who doesn't like to shine in the spotlight often. I'd like to just have Ms. Rossini Salerno stand up, and I just want to thank you. Your hard work and dedication is second to none. To pull something off a surprise when Mary's by your side like 24/7, it's a tough feat to happen. So thank you, and to all who helped you. Again, you put the time in like no one else, and it is definitely appreciated by this Board of Education. I would also like to thank all our presenters this evening for speaking, sharing their stories, the VHS Select Choir and their choir director, and everyone for attending this evening. It is a truly remarkable career, 46 years. When you think about it, that's really pretty awesome, Mary. I started doing a little bit of playing around with the numbers, and back in school, I think I don't know, I probably had more study halls and lunch periods than I did math classes, but I felt a little pressure when I saw Mr. Russo was doing his math, and Ms. Speakman came out with that multiplication number, so I came up with some things that I could kind of relate to. So I was doing the math, and when you started back in 1975, I was literally a skinny 9-year-old kid sporting a crew cut hairstyle and wearing a pair of Toughskin-style plaid pants that you used to get from Sears and Roebuck. I don't know if anybody remembers the Sears and Roebuck, combined with a striped danskin shirt from Robel's. If everybody remembers Lannis Avenue, you remember Robel's. You know, I don't know why our parents back in the day, they would dress us like we were members of the Partridge Family. And I was part of opening up a brand new school on Forest Grove Road, Duran School. When you started back in '75, a few of my fellow board members, I don't believe you've been born yet. Is that correct? Yeah. If I really think about it, I believe VHS might have still been in split sessions. Is that true? That's it. So when you think about it, 46 years old is a long time, Dr. Gruccio. Now that I made the majority of us feel a little bit older than I would like to, I just want to kind of put it in perspective, how long and successful your career was. You have always said to me, this is my home, and I couldn't imagine working anywhere else but here in Vineland. You also said a few times they were going to have to drag me out of here kicking and screaming, which I'm so glad they didn't have to do. You're going out on top your way, the way it should be. I want to share a couple of personal stories. I'm not sure if I ever shared this with you, Dr. Gruccio, but when I decided to run for the Vineland Board of Education back in the early, I guess it was like 2010, 3 people from the district reached out to me rather quickly. And before I got elected, one of them was Mr. Sobrana. He explained to me a lot about the Vineland Public School District, and he said, make sure you go in your mailbox. There's several DVDs. I opened up that mailbox and said, oh my God, what am I in for? So I thanked him for that. And I had another person from the district, Ms. Quinn, Debbie Quinn. She said, Best of luck, bud. What are you, crazy? And then finally, there was another friend, Carmi here. She reached out wishing me well and extended an invitation from a woman named Dr. Gruccio, who I didn't know at all at the time, stating that if I wanted to meet and greet some people during my campaign, that she would set it up in some infamous place called the Consolo Kitchen, and she would make it happen if I wanted to do it. I didn't want to put her out, being as I really had never met you. I'm getting a little emotional. I might need the tissues, Mayor. Holy cow. Oh, boy. I didn't want to put her out, being as we had never met. And I didn't get it then, but I get it now 100 times over, that when Mary wants to throw a party, nobody does it better than that. It's been 11 years since that invitation, and I'm finally taking the time to thank you, because that's the type of person you are. You wanted to welcome me into this crazy place called the Vineland Board of Education. As I reviewed your detailed bio, I truly do not know how you have had the time or continue to have the time. I learned things I didn't know before. But yet Dr. Gruccio found much time to take care of her family and friends, and so many other families as well. You had titles like daughter, mom, sister, aunt, educator, politician, friend, superintendent. The list goes on for miles. You've done them all, and you've done them very well, my friend. I've only been a small part of your historic legacy, but have probably spent more time talking or meeting with you the past 11 years than my own wife. Our relationship was always professional. We laughed a lot, and yes, we yelled a lot. You know, that Italian temper can get the best of us both. And I'm only half Italian. If those office walls of yours could talk, I'm sure they would have some good stories to tell. In all seriousness, you have always treated me with the utmost respect, whether we agreed or disagreed on the topics being discussed. We share the same passion for what is best for our students, and have always publicly represented the district to the best of our abilities. Your open door policy was what I loved best, because you were always there when I needed you, my board members needed you, the public needed you. And that is a quality that I will always remember. You're going out the way which not many superintendents have done in the past years of history here in Vineland. So enjoy the next chapter of your life called retirement. In closing, I would like to read the last paragraph from your heartfelt retirement letter to me, which pretty much said it all. Hopefully I brought it up there. Here it is. As I prepare to say goodbye, my only hope is that in some small way I have made a difference in the lives of students, parents, and staff. If I have accomplished that, then I consider my career to have been meaningful. Thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to serve as superintendent. It has truly been an honor. God bless you. In classic fashion, Mary, sincerely, Mary L. Gruccio. I'm sure my fellow board members share this with me. You have definitely accomplished this and so much more. Continue to light a candle for us weekly. God bless you, Dr. Gruccio, and thank you for all that you have done for the students, staff members, and community members here in the city of Vineland. You will be missed, and you are loved by all. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. What's she up to now? Thank you so much. I don't even know where to begin. I loved every minute of my career. There were good times, bad times. I made good decisions, bad decisions, but whenever decisions I made, I really tried to make them from my heart for what was best for kids and for our staff and for our families in Vineland. I don't regret 1 minute in my career. It's so bittersweet to walk away. I'm happy that I can walk away while I'm still able to enjoy life, but I will miss everybody so much. I can't even begin to tell you. I don't know what I'm going to do in September when I wake up and I don't have to go to school. I've been doing it since I'm 5. I just don't know what I'm going to do. But looking around this room and the people that are here, my heart is truly touched. I am so blessed that you have all been a part of my life, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. I have a beautiful family. Thank you for coming. Who's watching Snickers? They were supposed to be watching Snickers while I was at the board meeting. And now they changed the board meeting on me. It would have been 336 meetings. Now it would be 337. So, but anyhow, I just don't even know what to say except thank you from the very bottom of my heart. I truly, truly have enjoyed getting to know every one of you. You mean the world to me. And I'm going to miss everybody so much. God bless you all. I love you. Thank you.
In true Dr. Gruccio fashion, we never leave a celebration without eating. So there will be cake and coffee served in the Landis Gymnasium. So please mingle around and head that way. And thanks again for attending the first of many celebrations for the month of June. Congratulations, Dr. Gruccio, on an outstanding career. And I know you're going to poke your head in from time to time, so I know you're not far away.
I'm
Thanks
signing up with the SS tomorrow.